Hello, everyone. We just got back from the cinemas of seeing Madame Webb,
Yeah.
Sony's most anticipated Spider-Man film, spin-off film in their own Spider-Verse they're trying to create, I think, because they've got the Venom 1, Venom 2, and they've got Madame Webb. They don't have a Spider-Man movie because they don't need that, apparently. All they need is Madame Webb. So this is directed by S.J. Clarkson. Off the top of my head, I do not know. I'm not familiar with any of his work.
Do you know if it's a he?
I don't know. I don't really care. I just hope this person doesn't direct again. I can't even hold back. I can't even hold back on this. Like, this is... Like, I'll just quickly say, like, we went to this film and my expectations were very, very low. Like, the trailer didn't look great, but I was kind of like, oh, the concept, you know, she can go back in time and try it again, you know, in the combat and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like in the diner, you see it in the trailer.
Yeah.
But we're doing spoilers, like, spoilers in this video. Like,
just don't go see it.
Just don't go see it.
Just don't see it.
Don't waste your time.
Genuinely.
Like,
because we watched the first start of it was so motion sickness inducing that I wouldn't recommend anyone see it.
Before we start with that, like, how would you? So I would say,
it's like a safety concern.
It was. We'll get to it. Expectation was super low, but still, it managed to even go lower than the bar to like the bottom of the barrel movie. Like, it was a joke, really. Like, it was a joke.
It went out of its way to make itself worse.
But I don't know how you can mess it up that bad. Like, how can you mess it up that bad? How? Like, but yeah. So we'll dive straight into spoilers, talking about the movie and the stupidest plot. Like, overall, how would you rate all the acting, story?
The acting?
Yeah.
The acting, I just wasn't immersed enough to even, like, criticize it. I was just so out of it, looking at it, going, what are they talking about? What is going on? That, like, the acting itself was just... It wasn't good. It wasn't like it's hard to criticize it when everything around it
was just chaos. It was chaos. Like, Dakota Johnson, like, I don't think she's a great actress in any movies I've seen, but she was okay, I guess. Like, she was in a train wreck of a movie for one. So like you said, you can't criticize it. But
and her character was just psychotic
and selfish.
Yeah. Without any, like, turnaround, but that's later on. There's still no turnaround.
Oh, my God. Like, but maybe she was trying. Like, there was a few times, I think I chuckled once in the film at a joke that wasn't really supposed to be a laugh-out-loud joke. Like, it was like a really...
I don't know how you found that funny.
I think it was pity.
There was no jokes in that movie.
I don't even know. Like, okay, so we'll start by the start of the film, and then after we talk about the spoilers, we'll give you a final verdict out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
We're going off our reactions. You're probably not expecting much from that, but anyway. So it kicks off, and she's driving in an ambulance. Is that right?
From the get-go?
Oh, it's with her mum and
the backstory.
The backstory for the mum.
So she finds a spot. No, she's looking for spiders.
She's looking for spiders. He's there acting all suspicious, going like, "Oh, where are they? Yeah, we need to find them." And she's like, "Why do you care? You're just the bodyguard."
Yeah.
Like, but it's so clear, and you know it from the trailer. But even the film, like, it wasn't trying to hide it. But it was trying to make it seem clever when he started taking photos of all the spiders in her book, and then she's like, "Oh, I found it. I found it in the jar."
So he kills two. A lot of people die who aren't characters. So he shoots the two people next to her.
Yeah, because apparently they were hostile. I don't know.
And then tries to steal.
Yeah, he says, "Give it to me." Yep. He doesn't shoot her, even though he's clearly bloodthirsty. Because I thought he was going to shoot all three, and like shoot her in the head.
Yeah.
But instead he goes like, "No, give me the jar."
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to give her a chance, but it's not like they had an emotional connection or anything. So why would he try and spare her? You know? Like,
yeah, he could have just knocked her off and then
like,
stolen her.
I don't know. It was just
he got really close to her, shot her. She's pregnant.
Accidentally. Yeah, that's right. Oh, so maybe that's why. Maybe benefit of the doubt to the movie. That's why he didn't shoot her. Okay.
But then he shot her.
Yeah.
And then the spider people, because there's...
Oh, fuck me. So at the very start, they said, oh, there's a myth that in the jungle or this Amazon, we don't know where they are. They just say they're in a jungle.
They're in Peru.
Oh,
we know that. Trust
God,
me.
I don't want to talk about Peru. So what do they say? What's the myth? Because
they're like spider people that can climb trees really fast and jump really fast.
Yeah.
They don't shoot webs, so they're not like
Spider-Man. They're not like Spider, and they have terrible CGI as well when they
wear like vines and So anyway, they save her. They help her with her pregnancy.
They let the spider bite her. So they got millions of those spiders too.
Why does she need? Why did that? Couldn't they just have the baby without her being bitten?
No, because apparently...
Does that help with the baby coming out?
It gave the baby powers. That's how we get Madame Webb.
Because that dude in it, he was like the sage. He was like, yeah, she's going to come back one day.
Yeah, and then...
What did they do with the baby after that? So
they
never really made it clear, they jumped straight to her.
She mentioned she's in foster care. I remember that. And she does this whole emotional speech about it, but later on. But
so the baby went from being born in this like
Amazon. Then these tree people take her to a foster care in the city.
They must have.
That's
because it just jumped straight to her. She's a paramedic, and this is probably the only decent parts of the movie. If you weren't getting motion sickness, because it was like the driving action scene.
God, the drone. But even before that, when he was taking her to this this cave with water where she bathes and gives birth, he's jumping on the trees, and the cameraman is just doing this
spinning.
360 spins, and the CGI is bad for one. But then this camera.
I had to turn away so many times. I was actually getting so sick. But it was the driving that really got me. And you couldn't tell what was going on. Like she was driving as a paramedic, but it was like a Fast and Furious action scene.
And then Adam Scott's in the back going like, "Oh, quick, we gotta get there, quick." I don't know what, but then he was saying like, "Oh, you're driving reckless," and she's like, "Oh, we've got to get there to save this life." But then, so after you vomited, after your motion sickness. They get to the hospital, then the family comes out and goes, "Oh, thank you for saving her."
She's okay.
And then she's all awkwardly over there kind of like, "Yeah, I don't care." It was weird, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why they were...
Like she cared so much to drive them really fast, but doesn't care to even take a picture that one of the kids...
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I don't want to... I just want to throw this out." But then she puts in her suitcase, so she does care, but... It was just poorly done.
Yeah.
Poorly done. From the get-go, you already have a disliking to the main protagonist of the film.
Yeah,
she's
kind of bitchy. They're all kind of bitchy, really.
When the girls come in. Yeah.
One that I eat math, but and then another paramedic scene precedes that, right?
Yep, straight after. They have a heart-to-heart. They're eating Chinese food or something, and then he's going like, "Oh, yeah.
I met someone.
And then...
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant. But is that who he was talking about? Mary?
But how many days preceded this scene? Because then, they had Chinese food.
Well, no,
it wasn't too long after they went to another paramedic scene. Maybe the day after? It's not really clear.
Nothing's clear. No. You have no perception of time, except when she explicitly says, "I'm going away," because she keeps leaving the girls every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And she tells them the exact time she's going.
They go to another paramedic scene, which is like a car crash or something. I can't remember.
Oh, no, it's the building blowing up, isn't it?
No, before that.
Oh, because there's three paramedic scenes at the start. Because
one where the cars are crashed and she goes...
Yeah, and she jumps in the car to slice the seatbelt for the guy to let him out. And then she's still lying there.
In the car.
Yeah, as the guy's getting pulled. She doesn't get out the other side because to maybe come around and go, "Oh, do you need help getting him out?" But
the car falls.
Yep, and she's still in the car. She hits her head and Adam Scott swims down there in the car.
Well, she dies and she goes to this magic place.
I'm just trying to avoid that, to be honest.
Because the magic place is all Madame Webb. She goes to this web cosmos.
Yeah, and sees all the potential futures and stuff or whatever.
And then she wakes up. She didn't tell anybody about that experience.
No, she thinks it's this hallucination or
something.
I don't know. And then Adam Scott's like, "Welcome back to the land of the living."
Yep, and he's taking her blood pressure.
That's right.
And then she says, "I don't need to go to hospital. I'm fine."
Yeah, but then...
And then she says it again.
It says it again, and then she's like, "Oh, my air pressure's 89 or oxygen levels," and he's like, "No, it's not. It's, oh, you were right. Oh my God."
And then, and then she goes back to work the next day. No, because they got a barbecue. And then her boss.
It turns into Fast and Furious, their classic. But at the end of every movie, they always have a family barbecue, and so yeah, they're having a Fast and Furious family barbecue, and Adam Driver's what's his Derek Adam Scott, yeah, Derek from Step Brothers, like I think.
And then the boss is like, oh, you nearly died, like probably don't go swimming in the water. Like, so she died. She came back to life. And
they're already having a joke about it, like it's a big belly laugh, yeah.
So then they get called in. Oh no, there's that awkward scene when she's like with the mothers.
Oh my God, how did that go again? She's sitting there and then they're asking questions or something.
About like what their mother was like or something. And but like they're pulling pieces of paper out and then there's a blank one, I suppose. And then they go, whose is this? And then she goes, that's mine. And they're like, oh. And then she goes, I just never had a mother. Which is like really sad, but she says it in a laughy kind of.
Yeah, like I never had a mother. She died when I was born. They're all like, oh, like, gee, that's intense. And then she's like, oh, but like it sounds worse than it is. Haha.
She had a laugh about it.
Yeah, so they're playing it for laughs. And then
the rest of the cast.
The pregnant woman, so that's supposed to be Mary Parker. Like, so that's supposed to be Peter Parker's mother.
So she's meant to be like wise and like.
Yeah, and then she goes, anyway, let's move on to the next game.
Yeah.
Like, let's move on to this game. And
then, yeah, they go, oh, there's the firework building on fire. So we're going to go help them. They go there. That was actually the only decent scene, I think, in the whole movie.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Like, that was the only, like, worthwhile scene. But the only thing, like, because... the boss dies, spoiler alert, but like he doesn't have any grounding in the story. So it was like a sad moment, but it wasn't.
It had no impact.
Well, there's no impact. He was never seen before that.
Yeah, but that's right. And he was actually in the main credits at the end, his character. But I was like, he was in for like what 5 minutes, and I get the whole idea. But if they had like 2 scenes. He sees her at work and he goes like, hey, morning.
They only had that barbecue scene when he made fun of her.
Yeah, and then you get like, oh, okay, this guy's a bit of a dick.
Really got karma.
This guy's a bit of a dick.
Because she's still trying to work out her powers. She's like, I can see they're going to crash. And then he's like, no, I'll drive.
And she goes, no, let me help. And then, but it was awkwardly shot too because then she just starts walking away. Like, like the classic, you walk away from the explosion. And then she walks away and it's just a car crash. Like he goes out in the middle of the road and then... Like, it hits him hard, but it wasn't like...
What do you expect?
Yeah, I don't know. No, just like, I don't know, like he's driving really quick and then, like, the car swings out and, like, it's all really intense crash. But it just looked like... And then she goes, oh, what happened? Yeah, what happened?
It definitely wasn't a dramatic crash.
No, and then... but then he pulls him out and she's like, oh, my God. And then, yeah, like you said, there was a bit... Like, I felt like a tiniest bit of emotion when Adam Scott's like... His character was like, oh, no. Oh, you can't help him, and you did the best you could. And then she's like, oh my God, and you're like, yeah, if it was a character I cared about, there probably would have been more emotion.
Just knew.
Yeah, there'd be more emotion.
Because you could have chucked him in like the eating Chinese scene and like give him a bit more round personality. But anyway, no. And then
so she starts to have an understanding that she can see potential futures and. Gets an MRI and stuff done. Then they're like,
does she get an MRI?
Yeah, because she said, oh, the MRI showed you were fine and your blood test, and I was like, okay, so
it's 2002, right?
2003. So that 2002 to 3, they actually developed the best technologies in the world apparently. Because the villain, we forgot about the scene when
I thought she went to an optometrist.
I don't know.
I don't think she got an MRI.
I swear she said MRI. I swear I heard
she
MRI.
Went to an optometrist to see if she could see properly.
I swear, see properly. Oh.
And then she said, yeah, you should go to a psychiatrist. No, she didn't.
No, she said go. She said go home, take a week off, and watch old movies. And then which was very. And she literally went and did that. But you're like, it was so specific. Watch old movies. Don't watch new ones.
Yeah, and she's watching an old movie. Which had some sort of meaning to the story. I'd never seen that old movie.
No, but yeah, they're trying to be clever, very clever.
And then they have another time skip scene where like a pigeon hits the window and she's like, oh. And then she pulls up the window and pulls it back down and the pigeon never hit the window. So she pulls the window back up and the pigeon comes through the window and she's like, that's right, I can predict the future. Wow.
Yeah, it's just like... And they hinting at like, oh, she saved the life of the pigeon. Now she can save the
didn't pick
life.
up on
She can
that.
save the life of all the teenagers. Very clever.
She doesn't know about the teenage. Well, she does, but she doesn't.
She's like anyway. But I want to get to the part where Ezekiel, the evil guy. They just show him walking in his nice tux, you know,
and
bow
he's
tie.
the same guy that was his mother's like companion.
Yep. So he's only aged apparently 2 years in the last 22.
We worked it out. He'd be about 60.
Yeah, we worked. No, I did say because of the spider bite, he doesn't age. Because that guy in the cave, he didn't age either. So maybe.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think that's how it works. But anyway, so he's got his bow tie on. He's all dressed up. He's walking to this place. We don't know what's going on. Goes to an opera. He sits down next to a lady.
Mm-hmm.
She's just got a spare seat. For some reason, then he goes
about as empty as
then he goes like, our cinema was so empty, and he goes and hands her a flyer, and then he goes like, so you go to grab it, and he's like, oh,
I mean that's just,
and then I was like, what, and then
flirting,
and then next thing you know, she's going back to his, like they didn't show anything else, like they talk or anything. She's back at his place, and she's like, oh, love the spider tank you got, or whatever. And then he's like, yeah, so they sleep together. Wake up, and then he's talking about he has a nightmare seeing the girls with some more awful CGI. My God.
And they're superheroes in the nightmare.
Yeah, and they're defeating him, and he gets thrown out of his apartment.
Yeah.
And so they kill him.
Yeah. With no clear motive, but they kill him.
The spider women kill him.
Yes.
And you think they're going to explain why they kill him, or...
Well, the story has nothing to do with that.
No.
As much as it has to do with it, it has nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
And he has these nightmares every night, he says.
He says, I have an every... And then
he's like, that's why he needs to kill the 3 girls.
Yes.
Because he has them every night. And he's sure they exist. They're not just figments of his imagination.
No, he's like, I have it every night. It's the same dream, so it's definitely going to happen.
So he slept with this woman who has access to this technology.
Which he knew because he started saying his whole plan, and then he was getting all like, trying to be like clever, like, and I know you have the code too.
Yeah. So he kills her to take the code.
Yeah.
And then he sets up the best computers that not even 2024 people have. But they mentioned that the technology had advanced, but they never... Like we're not sure if that's his company that advanced.
No, we don't even know what he does. No. They didn't show. They showed one woman that works his computer. That's tracking, but they don't mention his organization name, what he does. That he's developed the.
Maybe he got like super brain, super smart from like the spider.
They mention none of it.
They don't even mention if he got bitten by a spider, but it's assumed.
We assume he has because he has the walk on the. And he touches people because that's how he kills her. And she gets venom in her and when that effect though, like through the veins and all that, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool, cool effect. But that was all I enjoyed in that. Like, I think the whole start of the movie really.
So he must have got access to all that technology. He got that chick to do it on the computer for him, like his right hand man. And then they went on to try and find these. No, because he somehow. Had their vision.
I know where you're going. Yeah,
he had a vision of these 3 girls' faces, and then they reconstructed it based off his dreams.
His dreams, and they were.
But they were wearing masks,
and the spider women masks or whatever they were.
Found a way to get.
And they were dead on perfect. It's like they were a bit like pixelated or whatever. Like they were the perfect cutout. And then she goes, "Hang on, let me de-age them 20 years or whatever she said." And then remember that? Then she gets the perfect biopics of what they would look like now without the powers, no masks or anything.
In the vision, they're like 20 years older.
Yeah.
So he's really cutting it at the weeds. Like he's trying to fix the problem before it gets. But all right, so.
But yeah, so they managed to get the faces, but even though they're wearing masks, they de-age them and know what their exact face is without the masks.
And then use those faces to find them within the city. With like, because they have.
I want to say this part because this is when we fucking lost it. I just couldn't. Which part? No, I was crying when I think you said it to me. Andy whispered to me. So she tracks the girls right, and they're all at the station together, all at the train station. Yeah. Madame Webb's there too because she's catching the train. Yeah. We don't know why. They're all at the station,
girls, and they've got all their own backstories, their own. They've never met.
Yep, never met. Like they didn't. Have them be sisters or
no schoolmates and
cousins or no just anything. No, they're all strange. They're all on the train in the same carriage as well. But she goes, I found a scan at the station, and then all three of them.
On all the faces.
She's like, all three of them are there. This isn't crazy. And then he's like, it's okay. I'm actually out front of the station.
He was like, great, Roger, and he's right there.
He knew, or he luckily was just right out the front of the station where she just found the girl's face. I was crying.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
But they don't even give any humility. Like, he doesn't even think perhaps these people don't exist and it's just my thoughts. He's so certain of their...
He's like, no, I'm going to find him. I'm going to kill him. And you're
like,
he
found them. Like, good on him.
You're like, okay, yeah. Right.
And then, so all five of them are there. The evil guy, the three girls, and then Dakota's character.
Yeah, and she's seen the vision. The vision's going again. She's seen them on the train.
Scene.
I was like, we get it.
She envisioned each one individually and
dying,
it was like a horror screen. Like, it was just.
But it wasn't like you go, oh, was it scary? No, it was just like they just started screaming loud, and the speakers, and I was sitting there and I was like, oh, and they're doing all the weird camera angles and switches,
and they're all dying. Like, it's all death scene,
one by one, and you're like, oh, and then she just kept looking up at that lady with the newspaper. She was always staring at her. Like,
it just repeats the same scenes like for 15 minutes straight with screaming in between
them. Like,
and then she's telling them to leave after about 15 minutes of screaming. She's like saying, "We got to get off the train. You're all going to die." To these three girls who don't know her.
No,
and no
idea. She's a complete stranger. She's a complete.
Yeah, they go along with it.
Oh, only because she takes that girl's skateboard. She goes, "Hey, give it back, give it back."
The other two were all like,
yeah, I'll come with you. What are we doing?
And then they leave, and then he turns into the suit. So he's a normal guy, and then he, like, in a matter of like 10 seconds, he's got his suit
on. I can suspend my disbelief. See, that doesn't bother me that much.
That bothers me because he was wearing bare feet.
That's right. Yeah, he's always barefoot in the film.
But that
he's
bothers
sticky.
me.
He sticks to things. He's sticky.
But he's not wearing a suit under.
Nah, he's got in his back pocket. It's a stretchy one.
But he'd have to slip him on. But no.
Anyway.
Then he starts climbing to them, and the girls scream, and they go, "Oh my god, who's that?" And then the cops come, and a lot of cops just die. Like, he'll kill like 5 people before he goes and like.
If he just ran straight to the cops, because the cops were like looking around for him. It's not like they had him in their sights with guns, and he was like, I need to take them out to get through.
Yeah. He
was like pulling them under the rails and stuff. Remember that?
It was like a horror.
Horror again. But it wasn't.
And it was from all different sides. Like, he would have had to jump from one side to the other.
So they're showing how dangerous and deadly he can kill people quickly.
But he can't kill them.
But then they manage to run up the stairs. Mm-hmm. Oh no, she almost gets arrested and stuff with that. Yeah. Because they go, hey, why are you abducting those kids?
He kills them.
And then he kills, so instead of just grabbing her, he grabs the cops and he's killing them, even though the girls are right there and he could just grab one by the throat and
get it done.
Poison her, done. One's dead, at least.
No.
At least one. No.
So he
goes for the cops. He saves Madame Webb. What a nice guy.
He saves her.
Well, technically, yeah, because they were going to handcuff her. He's like, no, and then he comes and starts beating up the cops and you're like, why? Anyway. They run up the stairs, they jump in, she steals a cab. Mm-hmm. So some poor guy trying to make a living. Mm-hmm. And then she starts telling the girls, oh yeah, like, that guy's trying to kill you. Why? And she's like, oh, you're going to have to trust me. Give me your phone.
Yeah, she throws a phone out for no reason because they said that
they could track it.
Yeah, but which is weird because they mentioned not even the cops have the tracking ability. But how would she know that he has a tracking ability?
Because they wouldn't. But they do, apparently.
But like, she wouldn't.
No, he could have been spending years trying to find them, and he finally found them. And then you're right. They don't know that he's using facial.
No, they don't know a thing about this guy. But yet she knows. No, get rid of the phone. I'm going to drop you in a forest.
Like, because in the train, he was had like if they saw him and they were like maybe he established his company, like he has the best resources, and they saw him and they're like, that's Ezekiel Sins. Oh, he has the best tracking capabilities. That's why. Quick, get rid of your phones because he can track. Like, no, they don't establish anything to do with that. We have known nothing about this.
Yeah, and then they're talking about their family in the cars, and then she drops them at a forest, and then there's like just bickering between them. They're like, because
they're not getting along. They're one's smart, one's the brainy one, one's the shy,
nerdy.
I don't know. Yeah, and then one's the tough, outgoing rule breaker.
Yeah. But then, like, they just say the stereotypical lines necessary for you to know that. They don't actually establish it.
And the girl has I ate math for breakfast.
Because like when they got in the taxi, the first thing she said was, there's no way that the physics could allow him to climb up the wall. Like, she was like doing the mathematical.
Yeah, you're like, it doesn't make sense. And you're like,
yeah, he didn't have to get maths to get to that point. Like, it's obvious that he's different.
Yeah, that's not possible to run move like that. Like, yeah, but then like no science.
They ask about their family. They're all like outcasts or something, but they all have family, kind of. But they're just outcasts.
Yeah, okay, they're outcasts. And then
she takes them to a forest.
So, yeah, they're in this forest outside of New York City.
Yeah.
We're both not familiar with that. So, maybe there's a forest an hour and a half, because it has to be an hour and a half, because she was gone for 3 hours, apparently.
Yeah.
Because she says,
yeah, she drops them off.
And she goes, I got to go for 3 hours, because she had to go get the book from her house.
Well, no, because one of them said he was climbing like he was a spider person. And then that triggers in her. She goes, spider. My mother was a spider researcher.
I have a book on spiders.
But like later on, we find out that her mother wasn't a spider researcher. She was just going there for another reason. Like, it wasn't like I thought she was a spider researcher.
Yeah, like the whole movie. Whole life was to find these spiders or something. But
she was like one of those. She was like a biologist at like.
So she wrote this entire book in like what? Because she went straight there and was like, I need to find this spider might be the trick, and we'll get to that later. But that's just
I was under the impression that she was a spider biologist.
Me too. Yeah, she's like 20 years in the field studying spiders.
So she's in the forest. She gets triggered by a spider person word. She goes back to her house,
leaving the girls there.
She talks
in the forest.
She talks with her cat. Like, she's just chatting away.
Oh, see, I missed this part. I went back. I went to the bathroom to
just nonchalant, chilling on the floor, talking to her cat, looking at the book. And then she knows to go to a certain page where she learns if you get bitten by this magical spider, you can climb walls and you can predict the future. So she tries to climb the wall.
Yeah.
And then it's like intense, and she's about to jump, and then she just falls to the ground. But this is all while the kids are still at the forest. That's all she learns. All she learns is that, you can get powers from spiders.
Did she go home to get the book? Was that the point?
I think she just left it. I think she just needed to read to know that she can get powers. But she's already established powers.
Okay. Yeah.
So then she goes back to the forest, but it couldn't have been 3 hours. It was like 6 hours, because the kids had given up. They've made a fire. They're like preparing to like live in the forest.
But you just abandon them.
Yeah, and they've never met each other. They're all strangers.
They don't know this woman that just dropped them off in the middle of nowhere.
But they know how to get out. One of them knew how to get to
a diner. 4-star diner.
So they go to the diner.
And they go, look, we're starving. Let's go get some food. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. I'd be hungry too. I got left in the forest by some crazy lady. Yeah. Some guys climbing walls. Like, let's go get a feed.
Yeah.
So they're there, and she goes, oh, keep them coming. Yeah, the food, keep them coming. And I'm like,
so rude.
And I'm like, well, you don't need that. Like, she's the tough one.
But she's rude to everybody who isn't even needed. Like, I get the tough character if they're rude to people that are like dickheads.
Yeah, or like but pushing them the wrong way.
The diner.
Yeah, here you go. And then she's like, keep going. And you're like, okay, whatever. But then there's a bunch of I couldn't believe. There's a bunch of jocks in the corner of the of this restaurant diner, and then they like look over, and the shy girl goes, oh, they're checking me out, and then the tough girl goes, oh, let's go over there and talk to them. So she does up her shirt to make it look more sexy, and then they go over, and then they're dancing, and then Madame Webb shows up, and
but they're dancing on the table.
Yeah, but that's when Madame Webb walks in.
But you gotta, like, who dances on the table?
No.
They're just doing it, whatever.
But they're doing it because the song's it's a really good song. Yeah, really good. It's Britney Spears. Britney Spears. Yeah. I would get on the table too.
And then Madame Webb.
And then she comes in and she goes, oh, what is this abomination of you girls dancing on this table? Like she's their parent.
Yeah, because they're trying to build that bond.
Yeah, mother and
then in comes
and then she goes, get your stuff, let's go, you're in big trouble. And I was like, this is what? And then here comes the big baddie. He comes in, and he runs to the right, and he smashes some guy's head on the table.
Some stranger.
He was sitting there just eating his food. Like, it's not like he was getting up to like grab a gun or something. Like,
I couldn't tell. It was so quick.
No, he posed no. But from where I was seeing, he posed no threat. He just went there to get warmed up, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he starts attacking, knocks Madame Webb along, grabs one girl, chokes her.
Yeah.
She's dying from the poison. Then
one by one, he kills the girls.
Yeah, and then Madame Webb gets stabbed.
Shot. Yeah, stabbed.
And then she goes, oh, And she's back to the car and she's like,
she gets to restart.
And she goes, let's try that again.
Yeah.
It's like all bad after the Britney Spears song plays again. Then we get the exact same scene from the girls dancing on the table, except like the 2 minutes we didn't see before leading up to the dance.
Yeah, we get a bit more.
So it was great. We got to see all that. It wasn't a waste of time at all.
No.
But it added nothing to anything. Like,
and it went against their characters. But anyway.
Yeah, and the shy girl that goes like, oh, you know, I like to follow the rules and stuff. Like, sure, I don't know what they were trying to do with that, but then they get in the car and she crashes the car through the
Spider-Man comes first this time.
Yeah,
we'll call him Spider-Man because why not?
Spider-Person
walks in the door.
Spider-Person comes
through. Oh my god! And then Madame Webb
she drives the taxi into him through the diner.
Even though this is the same taxi throughout the whole movie, right?
Yep. Same taxi. It's been through a lot, but they're really reliable, those taxis.
Get in.
They're really reliable.
Jump in.
And then the villain, he's like, he grabs her arm, and he goes, oh, and then he falls off, and then he stands up and he goes, oh, they've driven down the road. So he proceeds to go back to the city, and then get annoyed, and getting annoyed at her. He's going like. What does he say? Tries the classic villain trope. He's like, if you don't find them, the girls aren't going to be the only ones I kill. Like, you know, and you're like, why are you here?
Wait, but
you knew they were
down the road.
You saw them drive that way. It's not like he woke up because he was unconscious and he was like, I don't know where they went. Did they go that way or that way? They might have gone back to the city. Like, he saw them drive.
Well, like the story proceeds with them at the cabin, like some sort of like motel, and then they're doing another heartfelt talk. But it was just it's so.
Oh no! But what about the cab when she picks them up? She's driving. She's going, "You are all so selfish and ignorant." And
she's lecturing them after abandoning them for hours to get a book,
and met them 20 minutes prior.
Yeah,
when they felt like they were being abducted at the start. So great start. And then
they go to like a motel.
Then the shy girl apologizes. She goes, "I'm really sorry I let you down. Like I'm really." Anyway, that was stupid. Yeah, go on. They went to the motel. Yep.
And then they have like a heartfelt conversation, but it's so jagged and like it's like they lied about their original heartfelt story, or they didn't tell the full story, so you're kind of just more confused. But like they have,
and we didn't care at that point before anyway, so we were already disengaged, and now they're revealing the big truth about how they're
even more outcasted than they actually are.
Yeah, and then Madame Webb's like, "Oh, I was in the foster care system. It's not that bad."
And then they all fall asleep, and then Madame Webb decides to leave
again. Yep.
So she drives to the diner again. So it's obvious that like the diner's just around the corner.
It's just down the road.
And like the police.
He was too lazy to go 10 minutes up the road, but not a nice town.
There's no cops still there.
He missed the city apartment, you know.
Yeah.
City apartment.
But then he goes to the diner. She goes to the diner. She has like a full mental breakdown seeing this dude. She's a mental breakdown.
Because he touched her, and so they had like a little connection.
So how does he know she's there?
Yeah,
but
probably.
Is he aware of this connection, or is it just in her head?
I don't know.
Because he tells her everything.
They didn't explain. He goes. You have no idea what those girls become.
They're gonna kill me. They've got powers.
They got powers in the future.
Because why does he even need to tell her? Like, it's not even his business. Like, anyway,
he could have lied and said oh, those girls go on to kill me and a bunch of innocent people. Like, I don't make something up.
They're
like,
actually evil. And she wouldn't know. She's known them for 20 minutes.
Exactly. Like, and he knows that. He knows they just kind of met on the train. Like,
yeah, as far as she's concerned, she's only still seen visions of him killing them.
And like,
she could still be psychotic. Like, I still don't get why she's so wholeheartedly knows what she's got.
Because it had in the spider book. And the spider book, remember?
That's right.
You missed it.
She can see the future, right? No, that's right. So she knows she's not crazy.
Yeah, good. Her mum, because her mum said in the book. But she only studied spiders. She studied spiders for a week after.
She learns that these kids have powers, but they don't have powers.
Oh,
and then she finds out it's just a dream. So she wakes up.
She's in the apartment. So she
never really left.
So that's good. She didn't abandon them, kind of.
And then she wanted to.
Oh, but then she goes, okay, I'm going to drop you off with Adam Scott, my best friend, because I need to go to Peru for a week.
Yep, and they're like, fair enough, I understand. So
and then Adam Scott gets done
for a week.
These three teenagers that are clearly they kept showing us the papers, like 3 teenagers missing, abducted by a woman. So he would know that
they're abducted.
This is a bit sus. Yeah.
And like, their family's probably worrying about them. If they're on a newspaper, then it's a big deal. Like, on the news channels, it's got to be
because one of them has like he's her dad and stepmom and stuff. But like, but apparently no, they don't care. They don't care.
It wouldn't be on Channel 9 News. She just comes to Adam Scott like in a panicked state, going, "You got to look after these kids."
And then he goes, "Okay, I'll take them round to my girlfriend's house who's pregnant and she's about to give birth in like a week."
And they're just chilling together for a week. So
apparently there's no consequence there.
Adam Scott spent more time with the girls than Madame Webb, because she went to Peru for a holiday.
She went for a week and she walking around retracing their mother's memories.
That's where I missed this part, because I went to the toilet.
So then she rocks up to Peru because the story it just fell off a cliff at this point for me. Like, she got there and then a guy in a suit, but he's not all webbed up like they were at the start. Like, he's just wearing like a kind of a shirt and collar, and then he's like, "I've been waiting for you. Come with me." And he takes her to the place where her mum gave birth in the water to her. And he goes, "Do you want to know the truth? You're going to dive deep to the start." And she's like, "Okay." So he pushes her soul into the water, and she just sees like the memories of Ezekiel, killing her mum. Even though, like, we could have shown other stuff, because, we know this is an audience. They could have shown different parts of Ezekiel, like being sus, or more backstory, anything.
Or more about these spider people?
No, they just showed the exact same scene we saw at the start of the movie.
Yeah.
That wasn't even impactful at all.
It's new to the character.
Yep, to her, she's like, "Oh my God." And then she says her mum, they're able to have a hug. And then she explains how she went looking for the spiders because she had a muscular degeneration disorder or something.
And she was trying
to
cure it. So her mum's not a spider biologist.
But she wrote this entire book and drew all these sketches that were sensational.
So her mum was going on a hunch as well.
Yeah.
And then so you got to also assume from when this Madame Webb is 30 years old, from that 30 years, nobody else has gone and trying to fight these spiders?
No, because Ezekiel shot them.
But, like, even Ezekiel could go back and get more spiders.
I don't know why that wasn't on the cards.
Especially with his powers.
And he's just got the one.
Yeah.
As a pet or something, and he, like, plays with it on his hand. Like, ooh.
In the dreams. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. And when goes back to his apartment, he gets it out of its cage thing, and he's playing with it in his hands. Because he's a villain, he's got his spider pet.
But it just gives him powers, right?
Yeah, it gives him powers, but he could take that spider and let it bite more people.
To give them more powers.
And then he could have more people working for him.
Yeah, he could probably synthesize the thing that makes it, and then...
Was he doing it with his companies? Is that how he got all this money and technology? That we don't know.
He's just a billionaire.
No, he's just a millionaire, and he has a little tank with his spider in it.
Yeah, so she
and one girl and one woman. Yeah, so she's in Peru. She's seeing her soul. She's seeing the memories.
She goes back.
Rubbish, absolute rubbish throwaway scene. We already know everything that's happened, but she goes, "Oh my God, I can see the future." But then she's like, "I can do it properly now because I've seen this with my mum," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever."
And then he says something like, "You can be at more places at once." With enough responsibility. You can have power.
With enough responsibility, you can have great power. And they just butchered.
That's going to be remembered.
The iconic Spider-Man line, and there's going to be so many memes about this movie and that scene. Like
every meme is going to be like motion.
Oh my God!
That is a number one takeaway from the movie. So she goes back to
the girls
to check on the girls, but
after a week,
Aunt May or
whoever is supposed to, they'll try.
The water broke, so they go into the hospital. So then the paramedics arrive late, so she steals a paramedic van. And then because she's in the kids are in the taxi, they were able to track the face. The evil person was like, they caught them in an intersection and went, "That's them," which is like insane. Like they was, So
and that's and just so we're clear, that's the last scene with her and the girl tracking all the girls and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the last scene. She goes, "There they are in the car." We don't see it for the rest of the film. That's it.
So she was just usually they get killed off or they go...
Or or then he goes, "I don't need you anymore." I don't know, just some... But no, he
gets in his car, which is a Corvette. He drives, but then he decides to hop out at some point to then start
running on the walls. And the effect was like... I can't even give... Like, if you're going to make a crap movie like this, at least make the times when he's fighting and beating up the cops. Like, none of it was entertaining. It was just all like...
Yeah.
rubbishly like choreographed.
And very stereotypical, very like done before type of action.
Mm.
So then she foresees that if she does something right, that Madame Webb, that she can hit her van and hit him with the paramedic van, which I didn't even know how she got. Like, it was like a car park, I assume. Like,
when she
flew.
God! So she flew off the top of a car park, second floor, third floor, fourth floor. I don't care at this point. And he drives out, and then he has a grenade, and he has a grenade.
Yep.
And so his reaction is, "Oh shit! I'm gonna jump over this car, I guess." But he jumps into the car, and he gets hit by it. And so he jumps into the car.
Yes. Yep. And she, I don't know where she came from because
No, she just came right at the side of the building.
Like she
jumps into the car.
Her superpower is using cars. Like that is like she's just now she's run somebody over with a car.
She hits him with a car twice. She loses a fight, so she can't fight. She just can see the future.
Yeah, and then a car blows up. And I remember every time I see these scenes, I go, somebody was likely in that car. Somebody died. Plenty of people died that don't need to.
No, they had it coming. They were in this film.
She tells them to get into the paramedic van. And Adam Scott's just chill with it.
And he's like, and she's like, "Oh, don't stress. He won't attack you." But then he actually looks at Adam Scott, and he's killed people for no reason before. So I thought he was going to walk up to him and snap his neck.
Expecting that.
Yeah, but then no, he just goes like, "Oh, even though you were in the car with these girls, I'm not going to worry about you." But okay, so it's like, okay, he's actually focusing on the girls now.
Yeah, so he starts jumping from car to car, chasing after them while they're in a paramedic.
Charge the defibrillators. Yeah. Get ready. On the top of the van.
Right when he jumps on it, and they make it seem like it's an intense scene, but she could just hold it there. And I don't even think it's that strong. It's not that. It's not like these.
No, she had dialed up to 10.
Sure. And then he gets electrocuted, which buys them time.
Flies off the car to the left, and she also swerves him off and hits car, and then she's like, "No, you're showing off." Maybe a little.
And then she's like, "All right, we'll take him to the firework factory. That's a great idea, and we'll try and blow him up."
And they were there earlier when fireworks were going off. Because remember at the start of the film was like a firework. Yeah, okay. So they're back there.
Paramedic scene.
Yeah, they're back there, which is good.
And nobody's gotten rid of the fireworks that nearly blew up.
No, instead she has a bag of flares from the ambulance van. So they had flares, I believe. But then she has smoke grenades. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know paramedics carried smoke grenades.
I don't know where they got the smoke grenades from.
I think it was from the paramedics. They carry smoke grenades, I'm pretty sure.
But why are they even? I guess it's needed.
But they throw them, and then he's like jumping through the smoke anyway, going. And he has.
Like it stops him.
I don't think he has spider sense or whatever it is, because he has no sense of what's going on. He's just looking around, going, "I don't know where they are."
So they try and kill him with fireworks.
And he gets hit by 7 times by fireworks.
But he's all right. That doesn't hurt him.
No.
And then they shoot the wall open because they know she just predicts everything before it happens.
Yep, and the firework... They get down. The firework...
she says get down like
blows a hole
times.
In solid brick.
It's like a person hole as well.
Yep, perfect hole so they can squeeze through. Yeah. Great.
And then they go to the roof and she's already called a helicopter to come help them.
Yeah, that's right.
But the helicopter's going to look at this building and go, like, I'm not landing on a building that's on fire. Which it says. In fairness, they go, all right, I'm not going to land on the building on fire.
Yeah, they go, I'll go to the end or something. Or don't they say, I'm going to go to the other side? And you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Paramedics just call an ambulance whenever a helicopter?
I think it was supposed to be like a rescue helicopter, like, when
but she does it from the paramedic. She calls...
I wouldn't...
She's like, I need a helicopter, and they're like...
I can't really comment, but it's kind of like... I kind of just let that go, like... Because everything else was so bad. I'm like, I'd buy it.
Like, so whatever. She calls in the helicopter. The helicopter gets blown up.
That's right. Even though she saw it, them get in the helicopter, but then apparently...
But that was a foreseen. So she foresaw something that was wrong, or she just foresaw something that resulted in...
Yeah, she just got it wrong, I guess, even though she was getting it all right. Because
I thought they were going to get saved by the helicopter. That was like I thought she foresaw.
Yeah, she foresaw. Yeah, but I think they were trying to make it like, oh no, she can't make it all happen.
Yeah, because when you think about it, right, so she's in a paramedic. This is before they get into the fireworks. She foresees that he gets hit by fireworks, but he survives. So they're not trying to kill him with fireworks.
No, they're trying to it's like a distraction.
But it's like a prolonging.
But then the helicopter gets blown up by fireworks.
Yeah.
Because one flies towards him. Get down. She says get down like 16 times. Get down. Firework flies and then he uppercuts the firework into the helicopter.
So we established he's really strong.
Really strong. Really, he was snapping necks and stuff on the train just by grabbing people.
Because I don't even know if much else happens. Like, I guess she's cornered or something.
She's cornered. She gets like slammed and she's getting choked by him, even though he could just go, done, you're dead. But he's choking and going like, haha, I have you now. And then each of the girls, without their powers, by the way, decide to start fighting and attack him. They all
get whipped. Survived.
One of them got whipped and she went flying, but then she managed to get a hand, just pull herself on, and I was like,
on the railing.
And I was like, nah, her arm would have just flown off like a piece of spaghetti. Like, that was ridiculous.
She was like a rag doll and she just grabs it.
And then happened to another girl, then the other girl runs up and she just slips on her own and falls, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he says, haha, you can't see them all at once. And I'm like, but why would you say that? So
what happened between when he was choking her and then when she was standing up?
I think because the girls distracted her, I think, and then she managed to get up, and then he's like, haha, you can't save all of them. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why wouldn't he just continue to just start assaulting her and punching? Yeah. But instead she focuses and sends out her chi from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah. And then she's able to be in 3 places at once.
3 other places, including where she is now. And he could still attack her. He's just standing there like, oh, what's she doing? Yeah. Oh my God, they're getting saved.
Yeah.
And Cal...
he does. As soon as they're saved, he punches her and she gets fucking knocked out. But she's still okay.
She's still okay. She's up, even though we've established she doesn't have super strength or... she was... maybe she is because she was holding that... Remember that piece of metal and she was blocking fireworks? Yeah,
but
she was trying to be a cool hero moment.
Why doesn't she just uppercut them like he does?
I don't know.
If she's got superpowers, she can just punch some fireworks.
But when she was doing that, they were trying to make it she's heroic, she's protecting her daughters.
But she ignited... Their biggest problem was the fireworks. It wasn't him. They went from one dangerous situation to a more dangerous situation.
And she made it 10... Because I guess he got knocked around heaps by the fireworks, but they were...
Once.
I think it was twice or 3 times. Okay. I swear.
There was one where he got hidden aside.
And then there was one when he was in the air and he gets knocked over and or another way. But I remember just going I'm like, does he must not have spider sense because he's getting knocked by everything.
Yeah, he's a bit of an idiot.
And he gets hit by cars twice. Oh my God, so dumb.
But so he can take punches. He's pretty strong, and then superpowers. And then she kind of just creeps him up. They're on a catwalk.
After she saves the girl, she flings him towards her.
And then he struggles. Remember when he tries to get over the railings and he's
oh!
He does acrobatics over everything, but he takes each step.
Yeah, and he's oh, and he's climbing up. I think they're trying to insinuate that he's really injured or something. No. But I'm I think it is. Because he was going like this. He was holding his side or something.
No, he was kind of just... It looked like a stunt double was just climbing over a railing. It wasn't everything else. He was diving and jumping.
But it's
he's walking over.
And he's walking slowly because he's...
And then she's thinking, if I can just get you to this spot, you'll be trapped. Because metal falls on him. But it's not
Because she sees that in the premonition, the S falls in it. And she goes, I'll get him under the S. And then he's just kind of...
Yes, it's holding him.
It's all this other shit.
It's a bit of metal. It's nothing that he couldn't just lift
up. Oh my God, you're right, yeah.
I remember just thinking he was I'm trapped. But it was even I could lift it. It wasn't it was...
Yeah, you at least try. He didn't try, he just went like that. And he's like, oh,
well. It wasn't much metal.
No, but he didn't try. It's not like they established he's pushing and he's like, oh, these bars are just too heavy for my powers. He literally was just and then she was like, you were wrong about your future. It wasn't the 3 girls you had to worry about. It was me.
Yeah.
And then he falls and she sees the S she saw earlier falls on top of him because S for Spider-Man.
Yeah. But even that shouldn't kill him. But if fireworks don't kill him, that shouldn't kill him because he can jump from high things. We know that.
Yeah, and he was landing on things.
He jumped from buildings.
It wasn't he fell off a 20-story building and we're
been hit by cars, so he can take a hit. But this S is...
that S and that foot, it was really bad gravel. They hadn't paved the road for a while. So it was so it really hurt his back. Really hurt his back.
And then,
like he landed, he was like, "Oh, I felt that one."
And then they go to the hospital, and she falls into the water too.
Oh my god! And then a fire through the face.
Is that what happens?
And she goes blind.
She would blow her head open. Like that wouldn't. I thought it went past her eyes, and she I think
maybe it
flared
did.
her eyes.
Maybe it did, but I just remember it just going like not her face.
They could have done that. They could have done that on the catwalk. They don't have to do it in the water.
No, they could have done up there like she's fighting, and then she's
even before the fight even got fully intense. Like now she has to use only.
And she goes move to the left, get down, goes like, and then you're like, oh shit, she can't see. But this is more intense.
Yeah.
Even though we probably wouldn't have felt the tension, but they could have done something there.
Yeah.
And then, my god, then they fish her out, and then she taught them CPR at one point in the movie because she said
they swum her out, which it doesn't make sense.
Oh, and then they're doing the CPR, and they're like, "You're gonna make it," and then she opens her eyes, and they're all pale because she's blind now. Because Madame Webb, like the character,
they're all on top of the building. She falls into the water.
Yep.
One of them quickly must jump off the building to follow her into the water, or something.
It looked like she dived in, yeah. So maybe she did jump off the building. So maybe she did dive in.
Which would have been cool, show that, but they don't have superpowers or anything.
No, but that's right. But then so for Azizio, whatever his name is, so if he dies from that fall and a little bit of debris falling on him, then if she jumped in there and they show that, they probably did film that and they were like, oh no, it will contradict with the villain dying, maybe we can't show that. No, she doesn't have powers.
Fall into the water.
Yeah, I know.
So Ezekiel, 5 meters next to Madame Webb, falls.
He was like on the road, and then she was like up a bit further, like in the water, because that's where the water was.
And it's deep water.
Apparently.
So apparently it's just scooped in. Anyway, so she gets saved. They go to the hospital. The baby's born.
Oh yeah, and they don't mention the name, but it's like supposed to be. I know it's supposed to be Ben and May Parker. That's what because he's Ben Parker. Because they said earlier it's supposed to be Ben and May, and then they're gonna be like. I thought they were going to be like, what should we name it? Peter. I would have vomited, but they didn't say that, so that's something. At least they didn't disrespect.
And then she's lost her eyesight.
Oh my god! And proceeds.
And kids are family because they go, "Are you sure you're a family?" And they go, "She goes."
Oh yeah, intermediate family only. It's okay.
But
their family.
They've known each other for less than 24 hours.
Adam Scott is closer to them, like you said. He is closer to those girls.
He spent a week with the girls.
And May, like they should. If they went and lived with them, like we're going to adopt them or something, and then she visits, that would make more sense. But like no, instead she adopts the 3 girls.
Yeah.
And they leave the rest of their families that got deported, stepmom and dad, and her brother-in-law that one of them had. Like so, they left all those people, and now they're living with her.
Yeah,
and she's in a wheelchair, and she's
still adamant that they're going to be superpowered, like have superpowers, even though there's been no hint of that other than the visions
that the bad guy had.
Yeah,
and the fact that they're heroic, they went in to try and help her.
2 schizophrenic people, and like these young girls got caught up in it.
It was a really good film.
No.
This was a waste of time. I wish we said this more at the start. We kind of did say it at the start, but by the end, it was just
the plots was just everywhere.
It didn't know what it wanted to be. It wanted to. It didn't seem like it tried with the villain. The villain was like the most throwaway villain I haven't seen in. I think the Marvel's villain.
He was just having bad dreams, and somehow he knew the bad dreams were real people, and then he wanted to kill those.
And he went, "No, I'm going to go prevent that." And you're like, okay. But if they don't dive more into it,
like I told you,
you did say
there's so many other ways to prevent these young girls from ever killing him. Like if he moved countries, because like he died in his dream, he died in his house. If he moved countries to like Peru, for example,
but they didn't. It's not even that they didn't explain why the girls were there to take him down.
No,
why he became like a threat in the future for some reason. Why they threw him out of a window and let him die.
Yeah, they're superheroes.
They let him die.
Because
and how is he? How and his house didn't change a single dent. It was in great condition. It was the exact same as. It's like they kept the same standards.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird.
And he just stayed there for 20 years.
Oh my god! But yeah, and I don't know what he does. What was he doing? Was he just collecting spiders and giving them out, making pharmaceuticals? That would have been a cool idea, but no, they didn't touch any of that because they didn't have either skills, the budget. Don't know where the budget went. Maybe it went to Dakota Johnson.
I don't know.
But that was.
But yeah,
that was really.
don't even watch it for the fun of how bad it is, because it actually made me dizzy. Genuinely, like, the cinematography was just so poor.
We got motion sickness. The first half an hour, I was like, I'm feeling really nauseous.
That's where they put their money in. They took like 100 shots for like when there was only 10 shots needed to illustrate a scene. It was just swinging.
Yeah, the
different angles, and it was always trying to do different angles every 10 seconds, and it's just like...
Even when the bad guy was beating up the cops and stuff, and even in the diner when he beats him and she goes back and she redoes it, but like, it wasn't even cool. It wasn't like he was doing maneuvers that were like filmed well, so you could at least go like, the movie's crap, but that was some okay fighting. Like, it was poorly choreographed. Yeah, it was too... and he's jumping on the roof and throwing, and you're like, this would be cool if it was actually competently put together and not just shaky cam and like going side to side with this cool angles, you know, the director made. He must have been wetting his pants and going, this looks amazing. This looks so good.
In theory it would, but then you watch it without any understanding and you go, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. You not only like you've made me lost, and it makes it harder to jump back into it because it's just they're just like, oh yeah, so that's happening now.
Do not see this film ever.
No.
Not like Andy said, not even for a laugh. You know when you watch we watched Spider-Man 3 a couple of months ago and we were killing ourselves laughing just how dumb the plot is. Yeah. Characters are goofy as hell. But like this isn't it. Like this isn't where you can sit back and poke fun and
there's nothing fun about the movie.
Like Cinema Sins are going to have an absolute ball making their video on that. But even I feel sorry for them for actually watching this garbage.
Yeah.
I feel bad for anyone watching this. I hope it bombs and I hope Sony go, yep, let's fire that director, the cast, the writers and everyone who worked on that set.
Yeah. It's just...
but yeah, I think we're going to leave it there. We're coming up to an hour. Like, what would be your final verdict for this film?
If it was, I'd give it a 2 if it wasn't for the motion sickness. It's like a 1.
Well, sorry, Siri's telling me to get out of
here.
No,
I would say it's a 1.
A 1.
And if it wasn't for the motion sickness cinematography, it'd be a 2. But it not only is it just a nothing movie, it actually makes you sick. So the motion sickness, I could not believe what they were showing me.
It went out of its way to make you sick.
Yeah, it made, not only was it like an unlikable plot and story and characters, but it went, actually, we're going to give you motion sickness.
Just on top of this, top it off.
Like it can't even save itself.
Like, I was originally at 2 as well. Like, I was thinking, like, this is a 2, this is absolute garbage. But then I just...
Like, I could go to 0.
Just went the motion sickness, and the only thing that had anything was Dakota Johnson. Like, she wasn't her character was crap. Like, everything about it was crap. But, like, at least she looked like she put a little bit of effort into some scenes. But then others, I think she rocked up and was like, nah, I'm not feeling it today.
But she just played the quirky girl.
But she wasn't even quirky, and she's a bit of an ass as well.
An idiot as well.
Yeah.
She was irresponsible in the whole...
And then she blamed the girls for going to a diner where they could get food, and it was ridiculous. Yeah. We're going to leave it at that, but yeah, I'm going to have to give this a 1 as well. Like, that's crazy. I don't think I've given a 1 to a movie, like especially like a cinema release, like, ever. I don't think.
To get context, we said a 0 is like a blank screen for an hour and a half. So this is nearly as good as a blank screen for an hour and a half.
Like, yeah, like if they choreographed at least 1 or 2 scenes where I'm like, look, that's passable, or look, that's okay, but they didn't. They literally didn't. They had him maneuver and do all these wicked shots that they just slapped together like a really crummy sandwich, toasted it, and they went, yep, let's serve that. It doesn't matter what's in it. It'll make sense when it's on the big screen. But
eventually.
No, but yes, that's a 1 for me as well. So 2 1 out of 10s. That is crazy. But if you made it this far in the video, props to you. That's a decent effort because, yeah, it's just literally 2 guys complaining about probably arguably the worst.
Probably still better than the movie.
Oh, my God. I would just stay online, watch other people talk about it too, and especially if you're thinking about going for a bit of a laugh and going, let's go see this for a bit of a fun, you know? Like, no, don't give the studio money. No. They have nothing redeemable about it. Like, you have no fun. We laughed a lot because we were just, I think we were going delusional.
Lines it said.
Oh my God. We didn't even talk about the dialogue that much, but some of the lines were atrocious.
Yeah.
And we kept joking that we were accidentally going to hit our heads or something, and we were going to be like Madame Webb and go back to the start of the movie.
Yeah, which would be a nightmare. But it was just
oh my god, incoherent, bad writing, irrelevant characters that were uninteresting.
Like it was a cliche of a cliche.
Of a cliche.
Yeah,
and then they had no writing team that actually were competent to write a story.
Because they didn't even write the girls' powers in. That was like the most silly thing. It's like these girls' powers don't matter because they're never even like introduced. Like
they show them at the very, they show them at the very start that they're taking on. It's like, okay, it's in the future, but they don't
it's like a sequel movie.
I know, and
it's not like
they're not going to make any money.
They're never going to make it. They should never make the trio Madame Webb.
They
but
they honestly won't. It's not. I think this is going to be
Spider-Man.
This is going to be a bomb, I reckon. Like at the box office,
bomb that like just ends all the other bombs.
Oh my god! They need it. They need a step it up.
I'm done.
We're done. We're done. We're getting hot because we're getting angry.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. I know this is now retail normal show for those who are watching that. But thank you for sticking around and watching our
thank you
our movie review. Take care. Bye.
Have a good one.